TBC Classic Anniversaries pre-patch is arriving on January 13th, 2026, and in this context, there's quite a few things to discuss, from drama to the bundle that's being coming, as well as changes and things happening to TBC that are leading to the community to be on fire as soon as it's been announced. Now, right off the bat, before we go to everything else, when is TBC itself coming out? TBC is coming out either 2, 3, or 4 weeks after TBC Anniversary pre-patches launch. That is the typical cadence. From 2019 all the way to Mr. Pandaria, pre-patches have varied from 2 weeks to 3 weeks to 4 weeks. And that changes is a fluctuation. If it is a 2-week pre-patch, that means TBC Anniversary is launching on the last week of January 2026. If it's a 3-week pre-patch, it'll be the first week of February 2026. And if it's a 4-week pre-patch, it'll be the second week of February 2026 on a Thursday, because Anniversary itself launched on a Thursday. But aside from that, we have no official confirmation one way or the other. Your guess is as good as mine. It could go in any particular direction. Now, in regards to the article itself, you have the regular features: Outland, Blood Elves and Draenei, new raids, Karazhan, Gruul's Lair and Magtheridon's Lair, PvP Arena Season 1, Flying Mounts, Jewel Crafting, and the Guild Bank. Things everybody kind of expected. It's realistic things, but the big thing that was a huge surprise to a lot of people wasn't any of this. It was the fact that down here, you cannot transfer your character to Era and TBC. You have to pick one or the other. Now, people were expecting a cloning service so they could spend $10 to clone their character from Anniversary to both TBC and to Era, but right now that is not happening. And this was officially confirmed by Morgan K, Artemis Hal, responding to a viewer of mine called Sam, who quite literally said no cloning is happening whatsoever at this time. So there will not be a cloning feature. They could change their minds from now to launch. There is a likelihood that they could add cloning features to the game, just like they did in 2021 when people were going to TBC or staying in Anniversary realms, or at the time Classic realms. But as of now, they've effectively confirmed it's not happening. If there's enough backlash, they could add it, because people seem to want it. And in my opinion, this was a bad decision for the devs to not include in the game. I don't see any particular benefit to anybody for there not being a cloning feature. I don't see why this would even break the game, because a lot of people would say, but what if they're adding, all the changes like dual spec and other things that would brick the game so they can't allow transfers to Era? The issue is that can't work, because in the blue post that they just did, at the very bottom, they literally said they're adding dual spec and other features like that, for example, edit mode, into Anniversary and Era. So that isn't even a reason for them not to include it. So I don't know what the decision process was, the decision-making process behind not allowing cloning services to happen, but in my opinion, I think the lack of cloning services is honestly a big, foolish misstep and should be addressed, and they should add the cloning service to the game. Charge people $10 like you did back in 2021. It's not a big deal, but let people have the ability to go both to TBC and to Era at the same time. Now though, we have the bundle. This was the other drama facet. And again, there's a lot of drama. Welcome to Classic, welcome to Anniversary, welcome to World of Warcraft plays in general. It wouldn't be WoW without drama. And in this context, the drama is the $40 Outland Heroic Pack and the $80 Outland Epic Pack. Now, you get a level boost and 30 days of game time right here that isn't available until January 13th. The game time is immediate. The level boost is January 13th when pre-patch itself drops. But the drama comes from the fact that there's a flying mount and a ground mount. Now, in TBC so far, it's stated to be a ground mount at max speed is what the flying mount itself is. So you get the fastest mount on the ground. It's not a flying mount you can use in TBC. You also get it in Mr. Pandaria, and you also get everything in retail. There is a chance this is a straight up the slow flying mount in this context, TBC Anniversary, but as of right now, based on what they've said so far, this is a ground mount, but that could change at any point, and I don't want to sit here and factually say this is a ground mount only, it cannot fly in TBC. But based on the current information, that is the case. The drama comes from the fact that all of this is happening again, despite the massive backlash that happened back in 2021 with the slash spit movement and slash spit being removed from the game. A lot of people were truly mad and truly upset and truly frustrated that slash spit was removed from the game because people were spitting on everybody for purchasing this bundle. This time around, the bundle is coming again and again and again, and people are honestly, it looks like, excited to be in here partaking in all of these things. Being able to buy this bundle and buy all these features. Now, it does look like you can't buy a level boost by itself, so you get one level boost per account, and it's flat simply that. I'm looking at the store and I do not see a level boost at all. You have Mr. Pandaria boost, but there is no boost for TBC Anniversary, so it's a buy one bundle and you get the boost. So if you want the boost, you have to buy the $80 Outland Epic Pack, and that's how you get it. Now, to go back to the major drama here, people are upset that you can buy a flying mount with real money, because they view it as devaluing the game and effectively adding a pay-to-win feature. If the mount is allowed to fly in TBC, and it's a mount that you can use to fly in game and just fly and do everything, it's a big issue, because I feel like it's setting the standard for something that is genuinely bad for the game. And in my opinion, it sets a negative standard and a negative quality of life system where a major convenience can be bought with real money. Even if it's slow flying, I know there's going to be a lot of people that don't spend their gold on epic flying or whatever if they're playing on, for example, a PvE server, or they don't really care about farming consumes on a PvP server, who are literally going to buy this bundle and have a flying mount and whatever. Now, to be fair, the dragon itself or the flying mount itself isn't the expensive part, the training is. So the training is the expensive thing here. The mount itself is meh, right? Like, I'm pretty sure the mount is 10% of the cost of the training, or 20% of the cost, versus the training being the other 80%, if memory serves me correctly. But it still is an issue overall, and it's something that I think is worth addressing, and something that should not be purchasable. Which now brings me to the big one, the major one, and that is all the changes happening in TBC Anniversary. Now, there's a lot of changes here, there's a lot of things to go over, but the biggest one is the general Heroism / Bloodlust is now raid right with the 10-minute status / exhaustion debuff. This specific ability debuff will only reset on boss kill and wipe. And someone in chat just updated me going back to like the bundle. Epic flies are 200 gold, flying is 5k, so it's a very minuscule purchase amount, but my principle and point still stands. And it doesn't say if the flying skill comes with it or not, because if the flying skill comes with it, that is a very major pay-to-win feature. If it doesn't come with it, it's not a big, it's still not, it's a deal, it's just not a very major deal, but nonetheless. Going back to the changes here, Heroism Bloodlust being raid wide, this was very expected. Everybody pretty much bet money on this. I bet money on this, so thank God I am correct that Heroism / Bloodlust is now raid wide with the 10-minute status / exhaustion debuff. I'm very excited about this, and I think this is honestly like a really good step, and it's really good for the community as a whole. Terracon respawn rate is increased and additional Terracon nodes have been added. Edit mode is a quality of life option for player user interfaces. So right off the get-go, they've addressed three major concerns for a huge portion of the player base, and I have nothing negative to say about this. A, yes, shamans aren't as important, but you still need 5 shamans for 5 totem groups. Terracon respawn rate, this is great. Making a respawn faster and additional nodes, amazing. Edit mode, I love that, means you don't need Elv UI, you can edit your UI with your own hand, with your own ability, and you don't need to install an add-on to screw with your UI itself. Heroic dungeons. Every player's first character will be required to become fully attuned, hitting revered reputation level, but upon doing so for each dungeon, players can then purchase a bag which contains a bind on battle.net account key to send to alts. Alts must reach at least a friendly reputation level to use the key and grant attunement to the character. That is an insane change. That is one of the best changes I've ever seen in the game so far. Everybody's wanting that. That is a massive W. There is no L to this. There's no negativity to this. On an alt, you're still going to have to gear up and go run heroics and all this stuff, but hitting friendly is minuscule. So once my main is attuned, this is phenomenal for everybody. And honestly, I have nothing but kudos to give to the devs. I didn't think they were going to do this. I wanted it, but the fact that they are doing this is just a W. Anybody that disagrees? I don't care about your opinion if you think this is a bad change for the game. Raids. Every player's first character will be required to become fully attuned for each raid, but upon doing so, that raid will be unlocked for all characters on the player's battle.net account. Raids will be released in their post-nerf state. Post-nerf raids, fully unlocked and attuned for everybody. W. I have no negatives about this. I think this is a great change and this is good for the game overall. And I think Blizzard is actually cooking with this and making the game experience smoother, better, and more efficient for every single person involved. Arena changes. During the original Burning Crusade expansion, it felt good to make a team that started at 1500 and throw together some people to participate in 10 games to receive points each week without having to climb back up from zero. With BCC Anniversary Edition, we're interested in bringing the team's feeling back by encouraging players to participate in the system more than ever before. However, as we lean into the feeling of teams, we want you to be able to play with whomever you like without requiring you to make a team, so arena points earned are still based on your individual rating. Each character's ratings now starts at 1500 instead of 0. Once per week, per character, you can pay gold to reset your rating back to 1500. This is only possible if you're below 1500 currently. Ratings above 1500 cannot be reset. The gold will vary based on your team's bracket. Each bracket, 2v2, 3v3, 5v5, has its own weekly reset. They're just making some phenomenal changes. I don't see the negativity here. I don't see why people are frustrated. The other things, yes, the cloning service, I get it. The bundle stuff, I get it. So far with the PTR patch notes, the devs are absolutely cooking, and this is so far phenomenal. There are no requirements in order to be able to purchase PvP gear for any pieces except shoulders, 2000 required rating, and weapons, 1700 required rating. We want to maintain the prestige of owning some nice looking shoulders or titles for those competing for the top spot, but overall we'd like to make gearing up and participating in PvP more accessible at an entry level, particularly for players who might struggle to reach higher brackets. The overall cost of PvP gear has been lowered slightly. The faction reputation PvP gear will now be sold starting with the first arena season. The item set bonuses for each of the faction reputation PvP gear sets have also been combined with their honor gear equivalent, Grandmasters / higher warlords. This means the players can get a mix of honor and reputation pieces to unlock the 2 and 4 piece set bonuses. Now, I am not a major PvPer, so I cannot speak to the overall quality of how this is going to affect arenas and the PvP scene. I think this is a good change, but people that are actually gladiator and whatnot will have to share their opinion, because somebody like me who is a duelist tier player cannot share my opinion here accurately. I think for low level players and people that aren't that good at PvP, this is a good overall change. But at the same time, I'm not going to speak to it because I don't know the effect this will have on the game. Now, the realm type transfers and features updates. For those Classic Anniversary players who prefer their characters not continue to Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary, free character transfers from Anniversary Realm to Classic Era Realms will be for a limited time starting November 25th. This option to move character to Classic Anniversary characters to Classic Era Realms will close on January 12, 2026. After January 12, 2026, players will no longer be able to move their Classic Anniversary characters to Classic Era Realms, and characters remaining on Classic Anniversary Realms will continue to Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary. Again, not a big fan of not being able to clone, but you have your choice. You have 2 months to decide, so make your choice and figure out what you want to do. It's not the most ideal situation, but it is simply what it is. Anniversary Hardcore Realms. As there are no Burning Crusade Hardcore Realms during the transfer window, players with characters on Anniversary Hardcore Realms have the option to transfer their characters to normal, non-hardcore Anniversary Realms, so that those characters will continue to Burning Crusade Classic Anniversary. Players who do not move their Anniversary Hardcore characters to normal Anniversary Realms before January 12, 2026 will stay on their current realms, and the transfer distance available to those characters will change to non-hardcore Classic Era Realm destinations. So for example, Whitemane, I guess. This means that an Anniversary Hardcore character who meets the untimely demise will be able to transfer to a Classic Era Realm and return to the living. Classic Era. When making your decision to transfer, please consider the Group Finder tool and Dual Spec feature will soon be added to the Classic Era Realms. This means the new and existing characters in Classic Era Realms will have the option to learn Dual Spec. At the same time, the rule sets between Anniversary Hardcore and the original Hardcore Realms will be aligned. This means that the original Hardcore Realms will receive Dual Spec, Instant Mail, and Dungeon Finder tool. No other changes are planned for Classic Era Realms or Hardcore Realms as part of this update. So right there across the board, Blizzard has absolutely cooked, aside from 2 mild points. One is about the fact that the bundle might have training skill for flight training skill, which is 5,000 gold, and that would be, in my opinion, a travesty. And 2, no cloning feature. Now 3, this is a minor tidbit that I'm not sure if people will be frustrated or not, but I think the Era players are going to be upset because they wanted a no changes realm, and these changes might actually impact their game quality negatively and make them more frustrated and upset overall. And I do not know if they're going to really be truly happy or upset about this. When they added the Alliance Ren buff to Era, people freaked out and they removed it from the game. So based off of that, they may already be very upset about these mild changes coming. We'll have to see what Greek Warrior and these other big era content creators have to say, because they do have a voice for the community, and I do not. So I don't know if they're going to be upset or happy about the changes happening to Era Realms. Nonetheless, let me know in the comments down below. Are you excited, happy? Are you upset, frustrated? What are your thoughts on all of these changes? And are you going to be buying the bundle that's coming so you can get a level 58 level boost, which by the way, you cannot use on Draenei or Blood Elves. It's not usable on those. So you got to use it on other races, just not the 2 new ones. So thank you all. Ebonheart out. Peace. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe, or dislike and subscribe if you don't like the video. Be a dedicated hater. Don't half-ass your hatred. Thank you all. Ebonheart out.